third grade, we're getting ready for language and spelling. So today as we start our language lesson, we're going to look up here. We're going to take a quiz today in language, and you have that in your packet, and I'll go over that here when we're finished with the lesson part, and then you can take that. But as we start today, I want you to look to the board and look at the few sentences I have up here. What I want us to do, first of all, is I want us to put the line where the subject and the verb divides. Then we're going to find the verb and we're going to find the subject. Then we're going to find an adverb. Remember, adverbs are words usually pointing to the verb, and they're going to answer the question of how, when, and how often. Those are the three questions that we have had so far. The deer nimbly jumped the fence. Where would I draw my line between the subject and the predicate? Right after the word deer. All right, what is the verb? What did the deer do? What's the action? Jumped. And the subject is deer. Okay, the deer jumped how? Don't you tell me fence, that doesn't answer how. He jumped how? He jumped nimbly. That's an adverb and it points to jumped. Look at the next one. Dad will build a taller fence today. Where would I draw the line between subject and predicate? After dad. Who can tell me what the verb is? What is dad going to do? What's the action? You say build. Don't forget your helper. Will build. And the subject is dad. Now let's ask the question of when dad is going to build. Dad will build when? Find me a word that answers that. When? Today. Here it is at the end of the sentence. That's okay. It's still pointing to that verb and answering today. Look at the next one. The deer always tries to eat mom's plants. The deer always tries to eat mom's plants. Where would I draw the division between the subject and the predicate? After the word deer. All right, what's the verb? What does the deer do? The deer, don't you say eat. To eat, that is not the verb. The deer tries. Deer is the subject. Now let's ask one of the questions of an adverb. Let's ask the question of how often. How often does the deer try to eat mom's plants? Always. Always is an adverb pointing to tries. So here are our three questions illustrated in the three sentences, answering how a verb takes place, answering when a verb takes place, and answering how often the verb takes place. Today's lesson in your book, we're going to be diagramming the subjects and the verbs and adverbs. So I'm going to erase these. I've got a sentence to put up here on the board to show and to talk about for a few minutes before you do the ones in the book. The first sentence I want to write up here is Carlos whistled happily. Okay, what's the verb? What is the verb? The verb is whistled. Carlos whistled. Carlos whistled how? There's a question of an adverb. How? Happily. Tells me how he whistled. Now to diagram that, I have my division of subject predicate. Carlos, I have to capitalize Carlos. Whistled. This is what he did. And just like we do adjectives, we do adverbs the same way. We put them on a diagonal line underneath the word that they point to. And happily points to whistled. So it goes on a diagonal line underneath whistled. And let's do one more. I don't have enough board space or I can't move around, so we'll have to write them as we go. Yesterday, Mia read her book. What's the verb? What's the action? Read. Who read? Mia read. Now let's ask the question of an adverb. Let's ask when. When did Mia read? She read yesterday. Answers when. Now I'm ready to diagram. Always, the subject is always here, and my subject is Mia. Doesn't matter that this word is first in the sentence. You put the words according to what they are, and the verb is read. And we said she read when? Yesterday. Now, yesterday is capitalized because it's the first word of the sentence. You have to capitalize it too when you diagram. On your paper today, you're going to diagram the subjects and verbs and the adverb for each of those sentences. Now remember, pick the word that's going to answer how the verb took place, when the verb took place, or how often the verb took place. Okay, there'll be a word in there that will answer those questions, and find your verb and find your subject. You're going to be taking a quiz in just a little bit. Before I let you do that and work on this paper, we'll go over our spelling list. So remember, tomorrow you have a spelling test over just the 20 spelling words. On your quiz, it's quiz 14. In the first section, you have to underline the correct adjective. Now, here's one point I want to make. Some of you are not following directions. If it says underline, you have to underline. If it says circle, you have to circle. If you do not, I take off a couple points. So let's be careful and let's read our directions carefully. This says underline the correct adjective for each comparison. Number 2, write the correct adjective in the blank for each comparison. So in number 6, you're going to take the word tall. Do we want tall, taller, or tallest? Depends on what is in that sentence. And then down at the bottom, use the sentence key to write what kind of sentence it is. Use your proofreader marks to add punctuation at the end of each sentence. Some of you will forget to put an end mark, and I will have to take off a point for every sentence because you did not do that. Tell me what kind of a sentence it is. Is it declarative? Does it just make a statement? Is it interrogative? Does it ask a question? Is it exclamatory? Or is it imperative? And that's where you is the understood subject, and it's a command or it's a request telling you to do something. All right, let's look for a few minutes at our spelling list before I let you get busy on your paper and on your quiz. We are on list 25. Now tomorrow you will have a spelling test. We won't do a language lesson tomorrow. We will do a spelling test. We'll look at our reading comprehension book, and you'll have a penmanship test. And those are the 3 things that we will do on Fridays. All right, let's go over our words. This is list 25. Swamps, S-W-A-M-P-S, swamps. Deserts, D-E-S-E-R-T, deserts. Jungles, J-U-N-G-L-E-S, jungles. Forests, F-O-R-E-S-T-S, forests. Alligators, A-L-L-I-G-A-T-O-R-S, alligators. Raccoons, R-A-C-C-O-O-N-S, raccoons. Kangaroos, K-A-N-G-A-R-O-O-S, kangaroos. Tigers, T-I-G-E-R-S, tigers. Koalas, K-O-A-L-A-S, koalas. Zebras, Z-E-B-R-A-S, zebras. Hawks, H-A-W-K-S, hawks. Elephants, E-L-E-P-H-A-N-T-S, elephants. Gorillas, G-O-R-I-L-L-A-S, gorillas. Horses, H-O-R-S-E-S, horses. Salamanders, S-A-L-A-M-A-N-D-E-R-S, salamanders. Pelicans, P-E-L-I-C-A-N-S, pelicans. Pythons, P-Y-T-H-O-N-S, pythons. Otters, O-T-T-E-R-S, otters. Pandas, P-A-N-D-A-S, pandas. And eagles, E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles. And I have my Eagle shirt on today. It's Thursday. All right. So remember, spelling test tomorrow. Several have asked me, do we need to write our spelling words at home? I'm not making you write your spelling words at home. If mom wants you to write your spelling words, then that's what you do. I need you, whatever way it's going to take, to be ready for that spelling test on Friday. If you need to write them to be able to learn them better, then yes, you need to write them. But I'm not saying write them 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, and then send it in to me. That's totally up to what you're capable of doing. If you can learn these without writing them, then good for you, and that's what you can do. But if you have to write them and need to, mom should know that, then that's what mom needs to have you do so that you're ready on Friday. All right, get busy on diagramming. You have 3 sentences to diagram, and you have a quiz to take in language, and we will see you later.